Happy Friday. We're here. We've made it. What a week. Are you done with harvest? We want to know. Give us a harvest update here today. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We're powered by Advanced Trading. Another week under our belts. Going to wrap up a show here this week. Got a lot to talk about. More flash sales here. Going to talk about some John Deere layoff, cattle market a little bit. Maybe a little bull bear debate on the grains here. Look at some charts as well. So tune in here. I got Connor B with me. Tommy's out working hard again today. But let's jump on down to LaSalle Street and talk about where these markets are right now. Corn down, East corn 406, down a half a cent. Soybeans up a penny right now, 9.90. Got Chicago wheat down 14, KC wheat down 10. Feeder cattle, feeders are the leaders again today, up $1.12 on October. Live cattle up 37.5. Lean hogs up 20 cents. Jumping over to Wall Street, the Dow is down 200 points. S&P up 8, and the NASDAQ up 119. Looking over at crude energy markets, crude's down 86 points. Diesel down a penny to 2 cents. Nat gas down 4 to 5 cents here. So Connor B, let's jump into the show. It's a free-for-all Friday. We go anywhere we want here today. How are you today, Connor?
I'm doing good. We've got Rick's got he's taking a well-deserved vacation. Joe just said his computer crashed. Tommy's busy. It is truly Brady and Connor are taking it over. So what do you want to talk about?
I guess I don't know. How's harvest going in your so your dad and brother are a farmer. I want to start with that, right? So harvest in central Illinois. Where are you guys at with harvest?
So you start, some started on the early corn, and then we had about as optimal bean cutting weather, that bean cutting window that you could get. So I would say majority of soybeans are out, right? And now we're back and we're going to wrap up on corn. I don't know. We've got no rain in the forecast for Central Illinois. Last time I checked, I said that before a couple of weeks ago when I jinxed it, and it rained in northern Illinois.
Connor. I think the whole country is hoping that you send some rain and jinx it again, Connor.
But it looks like a good window for to really wrap up corn harvest. It feels like we could be in a really good spot by the end of October, but time will tell. Corn's very dry. When we got back in it, everything I'm hearing, very dry, right? Under that 15%, a lot of 13% corn. It dried down quick once we got back into it. So, and then yields are still good. They're still really good on corn. Soybeans, they're, I'll say they're good to really good. Not a whole lot of great soybean yields, Brady, right? That's what I'm hearing. They're still really good, but maybe not any of the monsters that we thought we were going to see in June, July.
Gotcha. Okay. Certainly been a fast harvest pace, it seems like, across the country. But if you're out there listening, leave us a comment. We want to know where you're at with harvest.
Yeah.
Out here in Kansas, things have been plugging away as well, too, Connor. Had a freeze this week. Hopefully that finishes up some milo. Everybody's kind of cruised through what was ready, and we're waiting for some milo to dry down, and that freeze will certainly help with some of that.
Right. Well, I got something I was thinking about when we were talking about this corn drying down. In your past life as an agronomist, you ever talk about phantom yield loss? It's a hot topic. One, if we got 10 guys in the room, we'd have 10 opinions. But interesting to see. I'm going to ask guys if early harvest versus this corn down at 13%. Right? How do you feel? Did we lose any on that dry? Did we lose any yield on that dry down?
Getting those, it happens with beans all the time. It seems like every year it's a race to get them out of the field before they get too dry on you. One with them just popping beans open when you cut them, I believe. And then the other, just the moisture in there. But I go back to when I was an agronomist, there was a specific hybrid that was really popular out here in Western Kansas. And, we're irrigation, Connor. So, we get to the end of the season, it's do we turn the well off? When do we shut the well off? And we want to save a couple passes because that's significant dollars to our bottom line. But that hybrid, it would reach black layer, Connor. And if you shut the well off 2 weeks too early on it, after black layer, you could see a 10, 20, 30 bushel yield hit. It relied so much packing those additional pound, that test weight on after black layer to that's what I think about, maybe hybrid to hybrid specific out there. and could definitely take the top end off of things for the dryness that we've seen of late. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Well,
so
let us know. Is harvest wrapping up in your area? How do you feel? As always, drop us a question or post a comment. We'll be sure to answer it. But
yep,
other news, right? Same thing that we've seen all week. We got some more flash sales, Brady. So 125,000 corn, 293 beans to unknown destination, and then 21,000 tons of soybean oil. Hello to Mexico. So we'll see it. Good flash sales continued. I know you saw the export. We saw the weekend at export numbers. Be interesting to see next week if we see some really big numbers.
yep. Groundhog's Day again with that flash sale. I love seeing those things. That's a
I do
great time of
too.
year. This is a snapshot because of the holiday. We had weekly export sales out today versus yesterday on Thursday, like they normally are. But corn, beans posted strong numbers. Look at that OS category line is outstanding sales, and then the next one over is outstanding sales versus last year. So you look at corn and beans, and those numbers are pretty strong versus a year ago. So that's fantastic to see. Wheat, on the other hand, lagging last year's pace, and then sorghum's got some work to do there. Bet 14.6 versus 78.1 year ago. But yeah, I interesting to watch. Those are, I mean, it's export season, demand season. Once the combine stop rolling, it's time to be watching the demand side of things. Corn exports seem to be strong right now. Ethanol seems to be strong. I'm excited about a little demand. Demand cures low prices for us, Connor. Maybe
That Yeah, when we see these low prices, we need the demand to kick in. Looks like corn's the leader, so looks like it's doing its job. Thank you, Mexico, as always. But good to see. I did have, we popped it up on largest flash sales on corn.
okay.
I forgot to do soybeans, and I just like looking at the numbers. Here's the top 10 largest flash sales on soybeans. As you can see, we've got some work to do. We haven't seen any soybean sales anywhere close to that top 10, but 2.9 million to China in Feb 2012. That's the record. So
China
interesting to
on the
see.
right there. China, all the way down the list there,
Yeah,
top 10.
no variability. Like on corn, it was a lot of variability. We could go back to the early 90s and we saw Russia on there. Not so much. China dominates our soybean sales for sure.
Yep. So queuing up our next headline there is there trouble in China with their economy? We saw that stimulus and the little pop there, and now the drop. John Deere announces more Midwest layoffs here in the U.S. So the strength of the global economy, China, U.S., wherever we're at, it's tough to see these types of headlines. Some hints out there too about no more rate cuts, even Connor, from the Fed. It's a lot of uncertainty and moving pieces on the macro market,
Definitely.
Connor.
Definitely. It feels like to me on China, we saw that stimulus. We saw them really pump a lot of money into it. It kind of feels like we're getting the hangover from that, right? We now we need to see the follow through. Not quite
Mhm.
seeing it. I guess time will tell. You said it best. Where what if we don't get some? What if we don't price in a few more rate cuts? How's that going to go? Election Rick's off, so he's great about letting us know. I think we're at 18
18.
days.
Are we 18 now?
I
18
think we're at
days?
18. So it'll be here before we know it. But
Eh,
yeah, John Deere announced more layoffs, right? That's kind of been a theme. I saw here to give you some color on it. They announced
Okay.
another round of layoffs in the Quad Cities affecting 287 workers, including 80 in Davenport. So starting in March, they've laid off nearly 2,600 people, 2,600 operations workers, as well as some office workers as well. So John Deere did want to emphasize the layoffs were not a result of moving production to other facilities or other countries, but rather due to a sluggish farm economy. They definitely wanted to get that one in there, Brady.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Mm.
So I really think it's a recipe. It's the after effect of this slowing farm economy, right? They're operating. Net income is down something like John Deere's net income was down 42% during the third quarter of 24 compared to the same quarter last year. So we're seeing the hangover. We're seeing
Hmm.
lower prices are going to hurt everyone in that equipment
I'd
field.
be curious if you're out there, in farm country, if you're buying new equipment, shopping for new equipment here this fall, upgrading tractors and combines, etc. I would imagine at these price levels, you're on wait and see and be opportunistic down the road approach. But I don't
Yeah.
know. let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cash
Well,
cattle on the bright side, the bull side of things, Connor,
let's do
the
it.
economy, cash cattle trading $1 higher here this week. It's 6 straight weeks of higher cash trade out in cattle country. That's good news. Cash feeder market is also a little firmer as well as the fall run starts to pick up. Choice cutout didn't have as strong a day yesterday. It was still up, but it wasn't up $2 to $3 like we've seen the last few days. But that box beef cutout grinding higher, creating a little more incentives for the packer to go out and buy beef, chase beef, slaughter more. Um, Interesting stat here for you, Connor. We got a cattle on feed report here next Friday, but year to date slaughter for cattle is down 4%, but beef production is only down 1%. Interesting fact there with carcass weights and these animals going to town are bigger than what they've been, 3 to 4%
Interesting.
bigger. So we're making more beef with less animals. I don't know. They're not making any more animals. The number of animals out there in the supply side isn't going to increase too much going forward. It's going to take time for that to happen. We'll see if we can keep that trend up where we're sending bigger animals to town.
Hmm.
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting.
That cattle on feed report though is next Friday. We'll have some estimates here first of the week and get those out to you.
Yeah.
So,
We'll keep an eye out for that. What else should we be looking for? We can wrap up the show here pretty quick, but looking forward, right? I think the focus is going to be South America planning progress, South America weather, right?
mhm.
The other one I had on my radar is November options, right? Do I have that right? Where they're going to be coming off
Is
November
it next
options
week?
expire? I think it's next week.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that could be a big one, right? A lot of moving pieces in the soybean market next week, especially if you've wrapped up harvest, right? Do we have your now suddenly it's old, right? New crop to old crop. Do we have the 24 crop? Do you have it squared away? If you're sticking grain in the bin, do you have it hedged? Are you looking at some of these deferred prices? I talked about it yesterday that we're seeing a good cash bid for November, December on soybeans, and I think it's one you should be looking at if you're in my area. But what else should we be looking forward to?
I I don't know. I mean, all eyes on South America to me, wrapping up the
Yeah.
harvest, but all eyes on South America and then these export flashes. I don't know. You want to have a little bull bear debate here on grains and some upside going forward, Connor? What do
Yeah,
you
let's
think?
do it. Let's do it. What
Okay.
which one do you want me to take?
You give let's talk corn and let's talk bull
Okay.
bear debate here real quick.
Okay. Am I the bull or am I the bear? I think last
I-
time I picked and I made you
You
be
be the
one.
bull
So
this time. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to be the bear. Yeah.
okay. So you want Connor to be bullish on corn.
Why is it
Okay.
going up, Connor? Why does it have to go up?
So I think we've got the supply side figured out. We know we've got a record yield by a lot. Sure, we could see that maybe the yield trims down a little bit come January, like going forward. But I think really, if we're going to be a bull in this market, it's got to come from the demand picture, right? It's got to be we need to see strong ethanol numbers. We've really got to see Mexico. It would be really nice if we saw China step into the market, right, where they've been very absent. If they catch us off guard and we get that extra the extra export, we see Mexico still as a strong importer of U.S. corn, and then China come in. That's where I'm really going to be bullish on this corn market, right? I really think it comes down to the demand side. And then if you wanted to be extra bullish, if we could see some type of rhetoric at the end of the year in favor of renewable diesel, right, ethanol, all of the above, I think that's where it comes to. And then last one, it's still on the demand picture. We start talking ethanol. We're hearing more and more about India changing its tune, and maybe they become importers of corn or of ethanol. That's where I want to be bullish, but a lot of ifs there, really, Brady. I don't know how strongly I felt about that one.
It's a tough side to be on, but I'm going to tell you why you're wrong, Connor.
Hit
These
me.
grains, they can't go any higher. I'm taking the bear side of the debate. And we got an election in 18 days, Connor. We're going to enter, more tariffs, a trade war, and that economic cold war is going to hit us over the next 6 to 8 months. And it's just going to drag on this grain market. I really have some concerns and questions about the strength of Chinese economy and if they're ever going to come back to the table and specifically to the U.S. If they do come to the table, to me, they go to Ukraine, South America. They're going to fill their demand needs, and it's a wait and see approach on is there a problem down there? And I if there is a problem, I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. I think it'll fill China's void. And I'm on that bear side here for the next 6 to 8 months. At least that's the side I'm taking today, Connor.
I like it. I like it. Well, good stuff. Well, we got any questions? We can pop them up and let's get out of here. Everyone have a great weekend.
Yep, sounds good.
Here.
Throw Luke's out there with a comment. You want to look at that one?
Yeah. What we got, Luke? Department of Energy gave $1.4 billion loan to give for a South Dakota SAF plant sourcing 100% U.S. feedstock. Better basis in the years ahead for the Dakota guys. Sounds like Luke's on the bull side with me. So, yeah, we'll take it, right?
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, we got increased demand, domestic demand. I think that's a huge thing for U.S. Farm economy out here is the strength of our domestic demand and being able to feed ourselves and have some of that overage go elsewhere. Good stuff.
And it would be, we did not see the fall through in 2024 of this big renewable boom, right? We talked about all the time about all these crush plants are coming online. Yada, yada, yada. We didn't see it in 2024. Doesn't mean it's going away, but really we're going to need the government. It's got to come from a government mandate to get it off the ground, right? At the end of the day, especially if we're talking that renewable fuels, right? Jet fuel. It's too expensive. It's got to come from a government mandate to get it off the ground. And so we'll see, right? It's one of those unknowns, but here we go. Let's keep going. What else we got? $1.4 billion loan to Montana Renewables for an expansion of production from 140 million gallons to 315 million gallons of biofuels. I need to find the chart. It was it'd be a little bit old now, but just in the next 5 years, either plants expanding or building new facilities. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. A lot of things happening here. Well, homework for the weekend. Oh, we got one more. We got some more comments coming in. Let's rattle through these.
Here's the bull case.
Elon comes out with a way to power electric and hybrid vehicles with corn. I like it, Brett. That's some true optimism right there.
I love it. I love it. So I don't know. It felt like I saw something. I think it was from the IEA, and it was just about how coal demand, the next 5-6 years is actually going to ramp up, right? Which is kind of, you really thought with this push to renewables, the push to EVs, that we'd see obviously electricity spike and coal demand kind of taper away. That's not the case, right? We're not there yet. Everything could change very quickly, but I don't think fuel, right? Gasoline cars, ethanol, they're not going away anytime soon. And hopefully we can find other avenues for it too.
I saw a little meme deal that said every time you see an EV, that is 20 bushels of corn demand pulled out of the pipeline. Did you see that one, Connor?
Yeah.
Interesting to look at.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, weekend homework. If you're watching this video this afternoon after the live stream, are you done with harvest? Where are you at with harvest? Leave us a comment down below. We want to know where you're at, how your yields are, and we'll get out of here. See you on Monday.
Yeah. All right. See everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.